What's going on, guys? Welcome back. So today we're going to be working on this 02 Honda Recon. It needs a carb job. I'm going to show you guys how to take the carburetor off, how to clean it, and then hopefully she'll be running better. It will not idle right now, so I believe the pilot jet is clogged. So I'm going to show you guys how to either clean the pilot jet, clean the main jet, clean out the entire carburetor. We may have to replace the jets if we can't get them clean, but either way, I'm going to show you guys how it's done. All right, so first thing you're going to do is remove the seat. All right, so next we're going to have to remove this air box. So we're going to take a Phillips head and we're going to undo this clamp. It bolts up to the carburetor, and then we're just going to pull the air box out. Some models have a like a 10mm down below underneath the air box that you can see from behind the bike. This one does not have it on it, so just going to pull that out. Should come right out. All right, and then there's also another vent on the bottom. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to pull this side cover off so that we can access the snorkel vent and take it out of the air box, and then we can pull the air box out. We got the side panel pulled off. Now we can access this clamp here. Just a Phillips head. It's a little bit dirty in there. There we go. You can release that clamp. All right. Now we can pull the air box out. Get that out of our way. Oh, there's actually one more PCV line on the bottom there. Just comes undone. All right, so now we can get the carburetor out. We can start working on these 10mm bolts. There's one right there, and then there's one right there. Kind of hard to see from this angle. Once those two are off, then the carburetor will come off of the motor, and then we can go ahead and take it out. All right, so I'm going to turn the fuel to off, which is horizontal. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start pulling these lines off. This gas line has to come off. Actually, it's a vacuum line, I believe. The throttle assembly has to come out. So you just twist this. I'm going to have to put a wrench on that. All right, I got that broken free. So now I can just twist it out. Should just come right out. There we go. You can see it's all dirty. You can tell this carb is real dirty inside. That's why it's not running right. Let's pull these fuel lines off now. We'll pull this one off. All right, so when I pulled the fuel line, I noticed that this petcock doesn't work. So what I did was I had to clamp off the fuel line with a pair of vice grips. So that's common on these. You can replace those. They're pretty cheap. All right, guys, so I got those 10mm nuts off. So now what we're gonna do is just gonna slide the carb out like this. A little wiggle. And it's gonna come out here. And we're just gonna sit it right here so we can work on it. So what we're gonna do now, this carb is probably really bad, so I may have to take it all the way off. I'm gonna try to pull it off and see, what it looks like inside. I may have to completely disassemble it and clean it. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna start by just pulling these 3 screws off the bottom of the float bowl to get to the float bowl, and then we can get inside the carb and see what the jets look like. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, guys, so we got the float bowl off. You can see all the sediment and dirt and everything in the bottom. It's usually from the ethanol in the fuel, so it's a good idea to run non-ethanol or just run some type of fuel stabilizer if the bike's going to sit for a while. So let's go ahead and take these jets out. This is the main jet. This one doesn't get clogged too easily, but the pilot jet does. That'll cause issues starting, and the bike won't idle, since that's responsible for idling. From startup to idle, it's controlled by the pilot. This main jet is usually half throttle all the way up to full throttle. So if you have any issues in those areas, you know it's one of those jets. So we're going to take a small flathead screwdriver, and then we're going to zip both those out. All right, I'm going to take out the pilot jet first. Just got to be careful. You don't want to crack these. They will break. This one looks like it's trying to. Just got to make sure you get the right size flathead down in there. There it comes. Oh yeah, she's crusty. Jeez. So one thing with these, what you can do is you can look through them, and these usually get clogged up pretty easy. Yeah, I figured so. Can't even blow through it or nothing. So this one's pretty bad. I'm probably gonna have to replace this pilot jet. I've got a few of them, so it shouldn't be a problem. Let's go ahead and pull the main jet out and see what that looks like. Sometimes the main jet will come out, but there's a fitting that the main jet fits into. Oh, no, that came out as one. Good. Sometimes you have to put a, gotta put a pair of pliers on that to take it out. Usually, sometimes the jet will come out on its own, but in this case, it all came out as one. Yeah, this carb is nasty. So this isn't clogged up. This looks fine, but the pilot jet is clogged. That's why the bike won't idle. So we're gonna go ahead and replace the pilot jet. We're gonna clean these pastures out with some carburetor cleaner and blow some air through them, as well as just clean up the whole carburetor. It's pretty dirty. And then she should be good to go. All right, so I'm just gonna spray some carb cleaner all over the carb, get some of the gunk and residue off, and then you're gonna spray it in these ports where the main jet was. You'll see it come out here, and then where the pilot jet was, you'll see it come out here. Just gonna give the carb a little detail here. It's pretty nasty. I have to take a rag to it. Main thing is, I mean, the outside could look dirty, but the inside really has to be cleaned out. That's good. So another thing too that you can do is if you have an issue with the carburetor leaking gas, more than likely the needle is going bad. I don't have that issue with this bike, so I don't need to really address that, but you would just take this, there's a little pin down in there. You push that pin out with like a pick or something skinny to get in there. It'll slide out, and then you can pull this whole float assembly out, and there's a needle down in there. If that gets any type of sand or dirt or anything in there, it'll prevent the fuel from shutting off when the float comes up, when the fuel fills up the float bowl. So that's really common on these. So, but in this case, I don't have to do that. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go ahead and spray some air through these ports because sometimes the carburetor cleaner won't clean, the carburetor cleaner won't clean everything out of these ports. So I just like to take some compressed air with a compressor and just blow some air through there for some insurance that everything is out. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. All right, so what you do is you just take the air. I have this little tip on here, and you're just gonna push air through it. Same thing with the pilot jet hole. And that's nice and clear. Perfect. All right, guys, so I blew air through this. I put some carburetor cleaner through it just to clean it out. I got this new pilot. I always keep these on me just because I'm always working on these things, and they're just good to have. They're pretty cheap on eBay, so stock pilot on this machine is a 38, so I'm gonna put a 38 back in it. If it was modified, if it had like an open air box or like a slip-on exhaust, something like that, you might wanna go up to like a 42 pilot or something like that. Or if you notice you have to really choke your bike for a while before it'll actually start, that's a good sign that the pilot is too small, and you may need to go up a size or two. So you can go up to like a 40 or a 42 if 38 is stock. But like I said, this is an all stock machine, so I'm going to put the stock pilot back in, put this main jet back in, put the float bowl back on, and then we should be good to go. One thing, guys, I almost forgot is we're going to clean this float bowl out. It's got a bunch of nasty stuff on the bottom, so what I use is like any type of aluminum cleaner, like the stuff you can get at Advance Auto for your wheels or anything like that. It really does a good job at getting all the crap out of these float bowls. So I just basically fill the whole float bowl up with that aluminum cleaner, let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes, and it'll have it looking like brand new. All right, guys, so we got her all buttoned back up, got the air box back on, carburetor back on. We're gonna fire her up and see how she runs. So it idles again. It didn't want to idle before. Sounds pretty good. Revs up good. Not too bad. Alright, guys, that's pretty much it. We got the carburetor cleaned. I'm going to be basically restoring this bike. You can see the plastics are all pink. So I'm going to be disassembling the bike, painting the plastics red. Needs a good bath, so I'm going to get it, pressure washed, paint the wheels, and you should be looking a lot better, but now at least it runs better. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. See you guys next time.